Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to SchoolQuizz.com. So, today we are going to continue with the topic that we have started in the last lecture. That was what? Analytical paragraph writing, right? So, we have studied what is analytical paragraph writing, what are the features of analytical paragraph writing, what is the format of analytical paragraph writing, but we have studied that in short. So we are going to study that over detail today. Okay. So let us go. Okay. So we have studied the parts that will be included in analytical paragraph writing. Those are introduction, body of the paragraph, and conclusion. Okay. So now let us discuss each one by one in detail. So first one is the introduction. What will be there in the introduction? Let us study in the detail. So the introduction is the first paragraph that should describe in brief what the graph is about. Okay. So you remember when you write informal letter, okay, or formal letter, whatever letter, type of letter, first paragraph in the informal letter, what do? You write, hi, I'm your cousin. I live in that place. How you doing? What your family is doing right now? What you are doing right now? Means we just, casually ask about what is going on in their life. Okay. So in formal, what we do, hey, I'm this. I wanted to inquire about this. Like that we start. Means we start with what this passage is about too. Okay. So same as that, we are going to write in the introduction paragraph, that is the brief description of what this passage is about. Okay. It should be like an opening paragraph. It should be like an opening paragraph. Means when you are going to start the conversation, what you will do, you'll start with an opening paragraph, right? So similarly, we have to do that here. We have to start with an opening of the paragraph. Okay. That introduces the reader to the context of the chart given. Whatever chart is given, it introduces to that. When writing the introductory paragraph, you need not go into details. Means you don't have to go to the details. Okay. You just need to mention what is clearly evident from the chart or the graph given in the question. Means you have to see what is given in the chart, what is the chart about, whatever the graph is given in the question. It is best to write the introduction in 1 or 2 lines. So 1 or 2 is little less. You can increase from 3 to 4. That is enough. Okay. Now body of the paragraph. We have seen introduction. Key points of that introduction is it should be brief to whatever topic is given to you. It should be clear to the language. It should be about 3 to 4 lines, and it should not, give any improper information. Okay. Now, body of the paragraph. Okay. So, I told you this will be the longer one. This part of analytical paragraph should contain details of the graph chart given in the question. It should contain all the information that is important. Means the analytical graph should contain all the details of the chart given exactly in the question. It should not change. It should contain all the important information. Why we are writing the paragraph, the reason behind that should be included in that. You write subject over the letter, right? In the formal letter, you write subject. Okay. So for that subject, what you write, the subject should be included in the second part, whatever this is about, whatever you are referring to, whatever information that you have needed, what are you applying for. So everything will be written in the body of the paragraph. Why? Because it is the main paragraph. Here you have to write details about whatever information is given to you. Okay. So it is extremely important to choose the significant details that should be included in their paragraph. Okay. It should include everything which should be in the paragraph. Whatever chart is showing you, whatever information is given to you, you have to write that in detail while explaining the content, why you are writing that paragraph. Okay. the body can be broken into 2 or 3 sub paragraphs. Means, as I told you, this is the largest part of the paragraph. You have to write what? Into 2-3 paragraphs. You can break it down. Suppose if I'm writing a letter to you and I'm writing in a broader format. First paragraph is the introduction. Second is like way too long, whole page. It will be boring to you, right? So what I'll do, I'll change the paragraph. I'll change it about 3 to 4 lines. After that, 3 to 4 lines, and again 3 to 4 lines. Like that, I have made over how many lines? 4 3s are 12. Like 12 lines I have made while using 3 paragraphs. Okay, so that is good, right? Or we can include 5 lines in one paragraph. Okay, 15 lines will be occupied by that. Okay, and the person who's reading the paragraph will not also get bored, and it will not look, clumsy, bad, trying to, fit into that page or everything. It will look clear and it will look neat, and it will not look like, you have tried to cut short the information. So it will look like very nice. Okay, so you can break it down if there is much information given. Depending, again, it depends on what? The graph. Okay, depending on the information that is extracted from the graph. Means I told you there is one, thing that we used to do, P diagram, we convert it into the paragraph. Similarly, we are going to do that too over here too. Okay, so we have to brief that according to the information that we are getting from the graph. Breaking the body into subgraphs makes it easy for reader to understand. Okay, so how you will do that? First, just a second. First, you have to organize the information. This organizing information. I'll highlight that for you. What you have to do first, you have to organize the information that is given to you. You have to organize the information. Means you have to see which section where it will fit. Suppose in the first graph, first paragraph, it is given for the agricultural sector, how many men and women are there. So you will write accordingly. First is agriculture, second is textile, and third is service. Okay, like all that you have to mention like that, step by step. So you have to organize the data. You cannot just write service, after that agriculture, after that textile. No, you have to write 3 simultaneously as it is given in that sequence. So you should look for the larger differences that are very prominent. Means you should look for the differences. You can mention the aspect which is the smallest or the largest in the data given. See, or you can go with what? Smallest or largest. Suppose in the service sector, there is largest graph, men and women both are working there, and in the long largest quantity. So you have to write that from highest to lowest, or from lowest to highest, whatever you will prefer. Then after that, you have to write any aspects that are similar to be should be mentioned next. Means if we are writing about men and women, so we have to mention what is similar to that aspect. Means to whatever aspect that is given over there, we have to write over here. You should further mention about what you have to mention about the aspect that has remained unchanged. Means which has been remained not changed, which has been same as you have to write down in the table or in the graph or in the paragraph. Or constant throughout, which is not even going to change. Suppose x-axis only men will be there, it will not going to change. Y-axis women will be there, it will not going to change. Means it will remain constant. So we have to write down that. Okay. Now, second is comparing information. What you have to do? You have to compare the information what has been given to you. Okay. So what you will do? You will compare the information. Sorry. Okay. First, we have organized the information, that in which way we are going to write the information. Now we have comparison, that in this sector, these much females are working, these much males are working. So the male ratio is less over here, the female ratio is more over here. What we did over here, we compared the given data. So as we are writing the body of the paragraph, we'll write everything in detail. So for that, first we have to organize the data, right? Second, we have to compare the information. Whatever it is given to us, we have to compare that information in the best possible manner. So if the chart mentions two different parties like men and women, I give you an example. For example, men and women, okay, refer to both of them in the analytical paragraph. Means you have to refer both men as well as women in the paragraph. If there is contrast or comparison that could be drawn, you must present it effectively. Okay. So anything that conclusion can be drawn, you must be presenting it effectively. Okay. If the chart is about particular time period or highlights trends of several years, mention each year in a concise manner. Means now if you have given 2016 there are these many males, 2017 there are these many males, so you have to mention that clearly in a concise format. You cannot change the data, you cannot alter the data, you have to mention that what in a very good format, in a concise format. You cannot change the data. Okay. So if any comparison or contrast can be done for 2 or more years, you should write that about 2. Means you should write everything in a concise format. You cannot change the format. You have to write it down. Okay. So for that, you have to write it in a very clear format. You can write down the comparison as well. Okay. Now the third thing we are going to write is the mentioning qualities. Let me highlight that for you even. Okay. So in this, what we have to do, we have organized the data, we have compared the data. Now in the comparison, A or B, suppose comparison is done, one will be best, right? So you have to mention the qualities of the one who's best, right? So similar thing we are going to do over here. When including numbers and figures, their accuracy must be ensured. There are a number of ways that can be described. Quantities, for example, percentages given, fractions given, ratios given, etc. Okay, so in that you have to give the quantities, how many women are there, how many females, how many males are there. Okay, last paragraph, connecting sentences. We have to connect the sentences with each other. Okay, what we have to do, we have to connect the sentences. So what we will do, if different information or ideas are there, you should usually use connectors or linking phrases. What can be used? Conjunctions can be used, right? But, and, or, by, anything can be used, right? To link them logically, we have to use phrases. We can use words. Anything that join two sentences can be used. Sentences of the paragraph should be sequential and connected rationally. It should be very easily connected rationally, means according to the given paragraph. Okay. So last is the conclusion. Last paragraph should summarize the idea mentioned, as I told you. Information in general. It gives the information in general. Whatever you think is best, you can write that. It should be concluding in nature and act as a closing statement. Introduction was that opening statement. This is a closing statement. Okay, so just remember that it is a closing statement. Okay, closing statement. Okay. I don't know why this color is not coming. Okay, you can see that it is a closing statement. Okay, I highlighted that word for you and highlighted. Okay, one should keep the mind that one must not include any personal opinions. I told you, you cannot use your personal opinions, conclusions, or observation. You should simply stick to the facts. Over the facts, what you observe, you have to write that down. You need not dispose the information to write a good analytical paragraph. We do not need, dispose any information. Key. Now, what is the key? The key is to choose wisely the important information, organize it well, state correct facts, and summarize it properly. Now, this is the key information of what you are going to write. Okay. So we'll highlight that for you too. Okay. Okay. So here you can see this one. The key is to choose the important thing. Wait, I'll do one thing. From the key to properly, we are going to change this. Okay. So I hope now you are understanding this. Now we'll go in short what we have studied. So we have studied what analytical paragraph writing format. In that we have studied introduction, body of the paragraph and conclusion. In the introduction, opening statement should be included. It should be clear. It should be simple. Okay. In the body of paragraph, we have seen that we can conclude or break down to 4 parts. So what will be the first part? The first part will be we have to organize the information. Then we have to compare the information. Then we have to mention the qualities, quantities, whatever is given. And the last is connecting sentence. We have to connect the sentences. And in the conclusion, we can use the closing statement. The key for writing overall is choose wisely information, important information about the passage or the topic, organize it well, state the correction of the facts, and summarize it properly with the help of the closing statement. Okay. So in the next lecture, what we are going to see what is analytical paragraph writing, how we're going to write that. Okay. So till then, revise that. Take care. See you soon in the next lecture. Okay. Bye.